Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And this just in, everybody is dead.
Everybody is dead.
Oh my God,
Our
everyone
childhood.
this week. I know. Well, first of all, okay, today we had Hulk Hogan, who passed away. And then Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Oh, yeah. Holy cow, I forgot about that.
That was the threes, because everyone says deaths comes in threes. And then obviously Ozzy Osbourne, who you guys know we love. And it was so funny because literally 3 days before that, I had posted that my first wallet I ever had was an Ozzy Osbourne wallet from Hot Topic. And it had like a little chain on it. And I just would wear that shit to the mall. And I was like,
those little chains are back.
I know.
Abercrombie and Fitch sells them.
Well, I actually looked up to see if I could find the wallet.
Okay.
And I thought it was from Hot Topic, but I think it was actually from Spencer's.
From Spencer's. But remember that store?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hello, my name is Spencer.
Around?
I don't. That's a good question. I feel like it has to exist in malls.
In dead malls.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. I mean, listen, if you're Spencer's corporate, we'd love to work with you.
Hit us up.
I would love to make an obituary chain wallet.
Dildo or something. You know, they had a section.
Yeah, because they had like a little bachelorette party section. Yeah. What are you sipping on over there?
Oh, well, should I insert the clip? Spencer's new machine.
He's a barista.
Your pecs look good. They're pecking.
It was an upper day. That's that fresh espresso. You take it.
You smash it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Need a little more. Birthday drink.
Birthday.
This thing.
What's that thing?
That's where it comes out.
It has 2 urethras.
It's got 2 of them there.
Udders.
Oat milk okay?
Yeah.
Let's do the next one. Smells so good in the morning when the coffee's grinding.
Yes. I'm gonna have coffee and a donut. And a donut.
Yes,
yeah. A little donut. Yes. Oh man, I didn't get that pour. Dun, 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 dun. Zooby-dooby-doo. Pretty little baby, take a flower to another baby. Stick your eyes. A little cinnamon. Wow. You made me a coffee. Thank you from your new Breville? Breville.
Yes. Okay.
He's a barista.
He's a barista. Slap my ass and send me to Portland because I'm making coffees. And I love it. I'm having so much fun with it. So I had been kind of eyeing the espresso machine. So this is the most annoying thing that's ever going to come out of my mouth. When we were in Italy, everything. Oh, when we... Don't do it. I hate to say that. But it's true because when we were in Italy, they don't have like Nespresso in your hotel or your rooms or whatever. They're all espresso machines.
Was this before or after the yacht?
Oh. Huh? Yeah, we went on a yacht ride. Whatever. Trip of a lifetime. I loved it. Okay. I had a blast. Well, that was a special trip.
That was the proposal.
That was the proposal trip.
Mm-hmm.
Should have proposed on the yacht, but instead,
No, what if you dropped the ring or something?
Fell into the ocean.
Yeah. The heart of the ocean. Did you see that Titanic game that's coming out on PlayStation?
No, but I saw Celine Dion at a Coldplay concert the other night.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. In Italy, everything's espresso. Like, even if you go to like, oh, can I go get a nice coffee somewhere? Like, it's going to be a nice Americano or an espresso. And it was so good. And I'm a coffee lover, always have been. I decided when we got back, I'm like, I really want to have an espresso machine. The one I wanted was the Breville one. And it was like, I don't know, they're like expensive. It was like almost $800.
Okay.
And so I was like, I don't know if I do need that. When it was Prime Day, the champ was like, you should look to see if that espresso machine you wanted was on there. And it was $549.
Hell yeah.
So saved a couple $100.
Well, if you think about it, and I know this is annoying.
The amount of money I'm going to save on not going to coffee shops.
Well, yeah, okay, $5, let's say, average. Times
say 100 trips to the coffee shop.
Times 365, let's say.
If I was going every day. I mean, I was using my Nespresso machine every morning, but I'm telling you, it's fun to have. It's brought me joy. Every single day, I make a fun little coffee. Anytime someone comes over, I'm like, anyone want a coffee?
You know, I'm back on coffee.
Yeah, you had switched from coffee to those Alani drinks.
Yes. Okay. So same with you. Have loved coffee forever. It was just like, and I think you and I have talked about this before, like our moms. Like my mom would sip on black coffee all day long.
Same.
Like it was that was just the thing. In middle school, she would send me to school with iced coffees. Like, you know, it was just like
yeah.
But then I read something about coffee and hormones. So I don't know. So then I switched to fucking the worst thing ever. So energy drinks.
Yeah.
But now I'm back on it and I'm buzzing.
Ooh.
I feel buzzing.
I love that.
Yeah.
She's buzzing. Well, yeah, I mean, coffee, I was like, it feels so nostalgic to me, just like having to go to coffee. And it is because my mom was the same, always black coffee. She'd fucking drink that thing for hours. And then my grandma was the same way, but she put milk in hers. She'd like heat it up throughout the day, the same fucking coffee.
Yep.
And I mean, my whole teenage years were spent in AA meetings. So coffee just does it for me. It feels homey.
Coffee, cigarettes.
Oh. If I could still smoke cigarettes, I would love that because I would just sit there with an espresso.
Every day.
Ripping darts. I would love it.
Every day.
Maybe if like something cool happens or like we have an exciting... Well, your birthday is actually coming up.
Yeah.
In just a few days.
on Sunday.
It is.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. And then today I was like looking at my calendar, my desk calendar, and it's
you didn't think about it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Birthday month.
No, God, I don't even want to think about it.
Wait, can we go back for a second though? Because obviously, well, it was so weird, the Ozzy Osbourne death, because that was literally right after we recorded that episode.
I know. Remember, I was like,
can we still put this out?
Yeah, because I didn't want to be disrespectful or like add to, was this a suicide pact or whatever? But
I told her, I was like, you didn't say anything disrespectful on it, but it was just such bizarre timing.
Yeah.
And like I had just watched his last concert. I watched a bunch of clips from it. I'm sure you did too. That's another nostalgic thing because that show was they were like the first reality show. And I remember watching it and I want to rewatch it now.
They have it on one of the streaming services. Like you can watch it. Yes.
I would love to go back and rewatch that because I remember Jack Osbourne actually had a show. It was kind of like a going to haunted places.
Yeah,
type show.
That was pretty recent, like during COVID. Yeah.
I watched that and then, or like a few episodes of it. But then also the Cosby Show I used to watch every night when I was like going to sleep.
Dude, Nick at Night.
Uh-huh.
Nick at Night was
Nick
because
at
they
Night.
had I Love Lucy.
Yep.
They had the Cosbys. They had the Brady Bunch.
Uh-huh.
They had it all.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so good. And I loved that show. And it's just sad. And I remember, or when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, a drowning incident. It's just sad.
Yeah, really sad.
And then Hulk Hogan, we've learned, I didn't know, touchy character, I guess. Well, apparently he's racist. I had no idea until I posted, because I had seen him this was longer than a couple. It was years and years ago. I was at the Ritz-Carlton in Marina Del Rey for work, and he was there. And I saw him, and I was like starstruck. It was probably one of the first celebrities I saw down here, too, where I was like, oh my God.
They're just walking around.
Oh, just Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan.
Well, he's very recognizable.
Well, yeah.
And I had watched that show, too.
Oh, God. Remember that? I know. I thought about Brooke Hogan, too.
I was like looking at her Instagram today to see if she said anything. Well, I actually went down a rabbit hole because I was looking at her Instagram and then I was seeing, and she doesn't follow him. And neither of the kids follow the mom, Linda.
Oh.
But Linda follows only Nick, and Hulk only followed Nick.
Wait, another nostalgic show, at least for me, was Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Uh-huh. Oh, yes.
And did you see that one of his sons accidentally killed his son?
It was his new wife's son.
Okay.
Killed his son on accident, yeah.
Fuck.
I know. Crazy. So it's been a crazy week in the death world.
We're just delivering the death news.
We're here to deliver the news to you 2 weeks late, as promised, always.
Oh my gosh, wait. Yeah, 2 weeks late. I know this is going to be... Well, I know you feel the exact same, like Ozzy's death kind of stings. Like it's going to stay around for a little bit longer.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
I know for me, the one celebrity death that hit me the hardest and like made me schedule a therapy appointment. This was like years ago, but Robin Williams.
That was a hard one.
And like not in a parasocial way was I like, ugh, but it was like, holy shit. He was so funny and outgoing. And like, that's kind of when I started to learn like, oh yeah, like, you don't really know what's going on behind closed doors.
I would say Anna Nicole Smith was one for me that I took it hard. I remember watching everything about it and just being like, oh my God, like this is so sad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And losing her son like right before that. Yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And giving birth. That was heartbreaking for sure.
God.
Because when I watched that show growing up, I said, I can marry an old rich man one day.
Yes, and still be a blonde superstar. Why
an
not?
Inspiration to me.
Remember her cousin?
Oh yeah, from Texas. And she's like, and like I just can I have $5?
Yeah. Her name was like Shelly.
Yeah, it was cousin Shelly. And she's like, I just want to ask you, I hate to do this, but Anna, I was just wondering if I could just have $5. Yes.
Oh, okay, wait. We were laughing the other day. Yes, because I was trying to tell you about a new show that I discovered.
I thought you were going to say you loved me.
Oh, yeah. I'll get to that in a second. But I was like, Spencer, you've got to watch this show.
Oh.
Like, Cisco and I have been loving it. Like, you'll love the vibe. You'll love all of it. It's called The Studio. And Spencer was silent. And then he's like, are you gaslighting me? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I fully have talked to you about this. And I think you talked about it on the show.
Yeah, let us know, Geoffs. I'm not sure if we talked about it on the show, but I remember telling you, I think you and Cisco would like that. Because I remember including Cisco in it. Because we have our shows that we watch, but I also know there's shows. The champ's not going to watch certain shows with me, right? And so there's, anytime that I find a show that I'm like, oh, you and Cisco.
Yeah.
And so I know I told you that. And then, yeah, this bitch calls me the other day and she's like, okay, wait, Cisco and I are loving this show, The Studio. And I'm like, it made me feel crazy because I'm like doing the like, do, like doing the math in my head. I'm like, no, because I told you about that.
You literally said, you said, wait, are you gaslighting me? No. Okay, but yesterday I called you and I was like, I'm calling to tell you I love you. Sometimes I just think people need to hear it. And then we're talking. He's like, oh, thank you. That was very vulnerable of you. And I was standing on the phone like, okay, so what are you going to say now? He said, thank you.
I was laughing. I was cracking up, actually. I was telling the champ about that because I was like, I don't know. He comes home from work sometimes and he's just like, who'd you talk to today? Da da da. Because I'm home all the time. And I was like, oh, like, well, I talked to my sister. And I was like, and then Madison called me. And he's like, oh, what's Mads up to? And I was like, well, I was like, she called me and told me that she loves me. And I was like, okay. He's like, did you say it back? And I said, no. Eventually I did.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, we say I love you, but not like
No,
that.
we don't.
We say like love you, girly, like
Oh, like randomly.
we'll say love you. We don't do it regularly.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Well, it's funny because we've talked about this before with the hug thing, because there's that hug conspiracy that like you will not hug your best friend.
Yeah, no.
And it's so funny because we do not, except I would say it's funny because we turn it off if one of us is hosting something and we
Right.
come over, we'll fully hug like, oh, hi, bye.
Yeah, but
like,
it does feel weird. It's like,
yeah,
because you're just autopilot, like, oh, and then you're like,
it's like hugging your
I'm, like,
doctor or
looking at
something.
you, like-
It's like hugging your doctor. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. My childhood was filled with I had parents who told me they love me, so I don't know what my excuse is, but
well, I don't know. I think that is just a theory. And you know, there is that theory about olives. One person loves olives, one person doesn't.
uh-huh.
And isn't that,
I love olives.
and doesn't the champ not?
Yeah, he'll have green olives and stuff. He will not fuck with just a classic black olive,
Mhm,
Devin.
mhm.
I love a black olive.
Mhm.
You like olives.
I do.
Cisco?
Doesn't like them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theories. Okay, can
Anyway,
we actually
yeah,
get
let's get
can I
into
get
this.
to the fucking point already? My God.
Let's get into this. Wait,
Yeah, let's.
I have good news.
What's the good word?
We got an email from a Geoff, and this just warms my heart, actually. It says,
Okay.
hi, guys. I saw this in my inbox and thought of you. You always talk about how pricey it is to publish an obituary. So I think it's really awesome that my local newspaper does them for free.
Oh, I love that.
I thought maybe it would be cool to look into. And
Can we shout them out?
well, yeah, they sent the whole news article. It's Johnson County, which I Googled, and I believe it's Kansas.
Okay.
This is from the Johnson County Post. It says, Dear Johnson County, we here at the Post take it as part of our mission not only to help you understand what's happening in your community, but also to connect you with each other. This extends to one of the most personal aspects anyone's experienced, the loss of a loved one. Unlike most traditional newspapers, we have made it our policy not to charge for the publication of obituaries.
Cool.
When families are undergoing bereavement and faced with all of its incumbent emotional and logistical stresses, the last thing they need is one more financial strain. Obituaries are tributes to loved ones that help preserve memories and celebrate lives, and we believe that the opportunity to honor those who have passed should be accessible to all, regardless of their financial situation. We currently have agreements in place with 9 local funeral homes to handle the submission of free of charge obituaries to use for publication. But the invitation to publish an obituary in the Post is open to anyone who would like to share remembrances of a departed loved one. And then it gives information. So
Cool.
I think that it's kind of saying anybody, even if you're not in that county. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love that.
I really love that.
I think more people should do that, especially the big dogs out there. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call you out by name, but come on.
One of you is very important to us.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
Ooh.
Okay. So it is time for Am I the Assholes? And I just have one today because it was kind of longish. But it says, Am I the asshole for asking for my dead sister's ring back after my brother used it to propose?
Okay.
My sister died when I was like 6 and she was 17. We weren't super close or anything, but I still remember little bits of her. Her laugh, how she always painted her nails, her posters. She was like this perfect angel to my mom after she passed. I barely remember the funeral. When I was like 12, I found this old ring in her stuff. It was nothing fancy, just a silver ring with a small stone. It fit me, and I don't know why, but I kept it. It wasn't some big dramatic thing. I didn't steal it or anything. I just took it and started keeping it. I didn't wear it loads or flaunt it, just had it in this little box, and sometimes I'd look at it when I missed her. It kind of became this one thing that felt like mine, like my piece of her. So anyway, last weekend we had this family lunch, and my brother, 27, brings his girlfriend who everyone knew he was going to propose to. And yeah, he stands up, does the big speech, and pulls out the ring. My sister's ring, the one I've kept for like 7 years. I literally froze. His girlfriend starts crying, people are clapping, and I'm just sat there like, what the fuck? I look at my mom and she just smiles at me like nothing happened. After dinner, I asked her, was that the ring? And she was like, yeah, your brother asked me and dad, and we said it was fine. She said it was sweet and symbolic, and my sister would have wanted it passed down. And I was like, it was never yours to give, though. Like, I've had it for years. And she just goes, oh, come on, it's just a ring. Don't be dramatic. But, like, when I had it, it wasn't just a ring. So, yeah, I kind of snapped. I waited till people were outside, and I told my brother I wanted it back. He laughed at first and then was like, no, what the fuck? And I said, okay, well, then I'll tell your girlfriend where it came from and let her decide. He got mad, said I was ruining his proposal and making it about me, like always. My mom dragged me into the kitchen saying everyone noticed I wasn't happy and that I left halfway through dinner. Yeah, because I was crying in the bathroom. Dad tried to calm it down, but my brother kept going on about how selfish I was and that I'd been weird about my sister for years. I didn't even say anything. I just left early and haven't spoken to any of them since. My mom rang me yesterday saying, have I calmed down and am I ready to say sorry? And I said, not really, and she hung up. My cousin texted me later saying it was actually super messed up and she doesn't blame me, but I don't know. I probably could have handled it better, but I felt blindsided. It's not even about the stupid ring. It's just like they acted like it didn't matter to me, like I didn't matter. So am I the asshole?
I don't think you're the asshole. I think that's a clusterfuck. Like, I can understand her point of view if I put myself in that situation.
Sure.
I remember one time, oh, I'll never forget this. Oh, it makes me so mad. I remember going to a family party and my aunt had on my sunglasses.
Wait, was it?
I was like 12. I was like 12 too, and I couldn't find these sunglasses, and I showed up, and she was wearing them. And my mom was like, "Oh, I let her have them." Like, I don't know, I didn't know, and I can't remember if I ripped them off her head or she ripped them back off mine. I really can't remember. Like, it was some shit. Granted, she was like 30 years older than me. But I showed up and she was in my sunglasses. I was fuming. And they're probably from Claire's or something.
Oh, I love it though. Oh, I love that story. That was like a random memory because I've heard pretty much every story about your life, and that was a new one. That was repressed.
That shit. That was, and there was drama the whole day at this like family barbecue.
I bet.
But I know that feeling of like, Mom, why would you say like that? Feels so like
violating. Okay, here's the thing. I get that she had a special connection to it, and I don't think how they went about it was wrong or was right. Like, I don't think they should have just taken it. Like, was it in this girl's room or what? I think her reaction was fucked up, honestly. I think a proposal is a big deal, and I think it's absolutely something that could have been taken care of later on, or like, hey, I've kept that ring, like I don't love that you took it and whatever, but like that's not the time to do it. I think not being able to step outside of yourself in that instance is
but if we wanted it to be passed down, why not pass it down to the sister? And also, if the fiance doesn't know where it came from and the brother's like, you're a fucking asshole, like, don't tell her.
That's weird too, actually. Yeah, because it's like,
what if she's like, oh my God, you know?
A dad's sister, man?
Oh,
Get it out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the importance of like giving that to her, being like, this was my sister's ring? Like, I don't know. That's why I don't trust kind of the author of this. Because it feels, with like any Am I the Asshole? Like, I feel like a lot of times, you know, they're spinning it how they see it. And because she said, like, the brother was saying, like, you're making this about you, like, always. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, does she? Can we talk to the brother, too?
Yeah.
I want his side, too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes me feel...
I wonder how people voted on that one, because I just screenshotted it from Reddit. I didn't know what people voted. So this is truly no swayed opinions here. But I would almost say this is a situation, one of those ones where it's like everybody sucks.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the voting. It's either like asshole, not the asshole, or everybody sucks here.
Everybody could have handled it differently.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, they shouldn't have disregarded the author's sentiment towards her sister's ring.
But why didn't the author have the ring still? If she cared
That's
about
where I'm
it
like,
so
okay, where
much?
did he get? Like, because wouldn't they put that in there? Like, they stuck into my room and took it without even asking me. Like, I feel like that would be in there. That's the only reason why I'm like, I don't know.
Is it a ring that you had when you were 6 or 7 and you loved it, and then you just never thought about it again? I don't know.
Just a fart in the wind after that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I remember how I felt with those sunglasses, and I could have fought her.
Bloop. And actually, let's get her on the phone. Oh, I love it too. I especially love because I know who it is.
Oh God, well,
I'm
up first this week.
You're up first this week. I'm up though. We're both up. We're on the up and up.
We're buzzing. Buzzing.
All aboard! Okay. My obituary is for Marlene.
Wait, do you have a side, bitch?
I do, and it's Marlene.
Love you.
Thank you. This is for Marlene Odney.
Okay.
And it says, Marlene Odney, 83, finally found an opportunity to slip away quietly Monday when her daughter briefly left her hospice room to fetch a snack from the vending machine. And that's it.
Oh! What year was that from?
This year, I think.
Oh,
and it was actually from The Onion.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Which is a satire website, if you guys aren't familiar, but it popped up on my like Instagram For You page. I don't know what, Explore page.
Yeah.
I saw it as just an obituary at first, and I clicked on it. I'm like, oh my God, love that. And then I saw it says The Onion at the bottom, and I was like,
oh, love it.
Love it. Keeping it anyway.
Love it. Oh, man.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. Head to the vending machine ourselves, aka my kitchen, grab a little snack, and when we come back, we'll hear what had Madison spitting in her coffin this week.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Oh, don't forget, if you don't have tickets to our Tulsa show, you're going to want to get tickets to our Tulsa show, because I don't think we're going anywhere else this year because everything's been a nightmare.
Cute.
So you can get tickets to our Tulsa show at obituarypodcast.com. Tulsa's a cute city, too. Like, we're talking Outsiders Museum. There's fun stuff there.
Yeah, they built this whole new walk.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Come to Tulsa.
Yep, come.
Come to Tulsa. Make a girls' weekend out of it. Midweek out of it. Make a girls'
Rearrange your
Take the
whole
time off work.
life.
Take time off work. Come to Tulsa.
It's summer.
Who cares?
Oh, no, it's not going to be summer.
It's fall.
Ooh, you know what? Fall in Oklahoma, I've heard.
Can't beat it.
To die for.
Can't beat it.
Move over, Vermont.
It's all about fall in Tulsa, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we're back. What Madison had you, Madison, spinning in your coffin this week, Madison?
Well, this fucking strong-ass coffee that you gave me, I feel like I'm
hyped, right?
I'm shaky.
Let's go!
Woo! Hi, girlies. We're getting stinky today. You. Now, this isn't the first time we've talked about smells, and it probably won't be our last. We have covered a lot with smells.
We've done the dogs, the cadaver dogs we've done.
We've done the cadaver dogs that can smell dead bodies underwater. We've done death smells. We've talked about miasma.
The smell of death, the scent of death we've talked about. Yes. And that's it.
So, signing off. No, but we haven't covered diagnosing things by smell.
Is that like when dogs can like smell if you have a disease?
Yes. Whether you're dead or alive.
Is this all dogs?
No.
Okay.
No, it's all people.
Certain people. Oh my God. I didn't know people could do that.
Oh, honey, you're going to hate this. You're going to hate what I'm going to talk about.
Why? Because health anxiety or?
No, because of certain words you do not like. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Okay.
Okay, but girlies, whether you were dead or alive, doctors or people who called themselves doctors throughout history could make a diagnosis based on your smell.
They bet.
She's rotten.
Yep. No, she's dead. Honey, give it the smell test, honey.
You don't want to smell it.
Her head's all fucking off and shit. She's like green. Her skin's rotting away. He's like,
yeah. God.
Stinky.
They could smell your breath.
Ooh.
And diagnose things. They could
I can do that.
They could smell your pee and diagnose things. Or if like, this one makes sense to me, like if a horrid stench was coming off of your toe and your toe was clearly infected.
They're like, yep. That's gotta go.
That makes sense to me.
Yep.
Okay, but another like pop culture thing. There are so many clips, and I remember from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian always said,
I can smell a cavity.
I can smell a cavity.
Which I can.
You can?
You can smell when someone has something fucked up happening.
I can smell hungry breath or keto breath. I know.
When you did keto.
I'm always hungry too, okay? But yeah. She's a witch, so.
Well, I have coffee breath a lot of time.
Me too. Now, God.
Poor champ. We were actually talking about that recently. We were like talking about when people have bad breath. And I said, well, my breath's bad in the morning.
I have a story. Oh. When I used to work, I won't say where, I won't say who, but she was the most beautiful girl that I worked with, okay? Hot. Everybody wanted to look like her.
Halitosis?
Halitosis?
It's
the whole store knew about it, too.
Oh.
And it was just so sad, but how do you say it?
It's because she was beautiful. That's my theory, is no one ever told her because she's beautiful.
Yeah.
I actually used to know someone, also beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Breath was rank every fucking time. And it was weird because it's like, I knew that person well. She would brush her teeth all the time. It's like.
And it wasn't a coffee breath. It wasn't, she ate onions the night before, garlic.
It was whoa.
There's something wrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at the gut, honey.
Yeah.
Look to the gut.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is pretty interesting. And, back in the day, doctors or healers or whoever really relied on their senses because they didn't have much else to rely on.
It makes sense.
And
it makes sense.
Makes sense. And some of their stuff.
Makes sense.
I know. And some of their stuff wasn't common sense. Floop. But their senses and smell was like one of the biggest ones. Obviously, eyesight too, like being able to look at something in diagnosis, but smell was a huge one. But we still sort of use this today, like in the medical field, which we do. Well, we do, but I didn't know that.
You walk into a hospital, we go, pee. Oh, yeah. It smells in here.
Oh, God. There are things called volatile organic compounds, or VOCs.
That's a slur.
Cancel me, girls. These are tiny little chemical compounds that are released from your body that evaporate quickly and produce odor. So sometimes it's a terrible odor that can come out of your breath, your sweat, your pee, and poo-poo, and even wounds, you name it. Okay, but they're called VOCs. What's interesting, I was reading on cshl.edu. They explain it. This was from like 2012 too. It said, quote, recent research has found that many diseases, including cancer, tuberculosis, and Parkinson's, can manifest themselves through volatile compounds that change a person's scent. Our bodies release many metabolites, products of our metabolic activities. Some of these molecules are volatile and become part of our scent or odor print. When we're sick, these metabolic processes start functioning differently, emitting different molecules that change our odor print. These molecules carry information about our state of health. For example, patients with Parkinson's disease produce an unusually high amount of sebum, which is a waxy, lipid-rich biofluid excreted by the skin's sebaceous glands.
Sebum, yeah.
Which sensitive noses can detect. So while we don't have doctors literally leaning in to sniff you out,
yeah,
we have machines that can detect certain smells.
Got it. Interesting.
I know. But like our ancestors were the machines.
Mm.
Which brings me to Hippocrates. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Or
it's not Hippocrates.
Yeah, Hippocrates. So Hippocrates, let's start with him. He was an ancient Greek physician way back in the 5th century. Okay, he's famous.
Yeah.
Right? Like we know about him. He was also kind of the guy who first introduced the miasmic theory, which we did an episode on it, but it's basically people thought that like bad smells could cause disease. So they felt like, you know, corpses, them rotting, the smells would travel and cause disease.
Yeah.
Anyway, he believed that you could also diagnose someone with an ailment just by smelling their breath. He would teach all of his students this. He also felt like bad breath could indicate different illnesses and that you were internally imbalanced. And we've talked about him before too. Like there's like 4 different humors that we have in our body that like if one of them is imbalanced, can't remember exactly what they were. It was like blood, phlegm, urine, and something else.
Like saliva or something.
Yeah, like he felt like if those were imbalanced, you were off. So he determined that if you had sweet or fruity breath, you had diabetes, which
it was different.
It wasn't called diabetes before. If you smelled rotten, you probably had a lung infection or gangrene. If you smelt like vomit, you had something seriously wrong with you. And he also was a fan of smelling your pee to determine
piss kink.
Okay, we'll get into that a little later.
Ooh.
Okay. Next, we have Galen or Galen. Gay. He was also a Greek physician. He was from like the 2nd century. He worked for Roman emperors and he was like a celebrity doctor of the time. But he also believed and studied Hippocrates that each disease had its signature scent. So he talked about the smell of wounds a lot, which again feels pretty smart to me. Like if something we still to this day.
Well, it feels primitive to me actually because it feels like bad.
Yeah, totally.
You know.
He also mentions the smell of your sweat, and I have to say, like, there's sometimes when I sweat, like if I'm working out, sometimes I don't smell anything, and then other times I'm like, I smell like a pickle. Like I need to go home.
I will say at the gym the other day, I work out every day, Monday through Friday. A lot of days, like I wake up, I just throw on gym clothes and go to the gym. And I sometimes like not put deodorant on. And girl, sometimes I feel like it's diet. It's like what you ate and stuff.
I'm like, I'm detoxing right now. Yeah.
I'm an onion. Like I was in a workout class the other day. I was like, I'm the smelly guy.
Yeah. Smelly.
I'm the smelly guy.
Smelly guy.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if there's a place to smell, it's the gym.
That's true. Nobody cares at the gym.
Not on a plane.
I'll tell you that much. Yeah, we'll start diagnosing you on a plane.
You know what? We will start diagnosing. You come on a plane smelling like an onion, bitch. We're calling it out.
Okay, something's wrong with your spleen.
It stinks in here.
We have a medical emergency.
Start the plane. Did you see a family just got kicked off a plane?
No.
Yeah, mom, dad, and kid for smelling.
Well, that's embarrassing, and I'm sorry.
I'd report it too. I'd report it.
Their feelings are hurt, but yeah, that's.
People should report. Next time I get on a plane, it's like that time that girl had a stinky pussy. It's if I'm pressing the little button.
We had to cut that out.
Ding. Yeah. Did we? The whole story?
Sneaky pussy.
Stinky pussy. Yeah, I don't know. Pussy. Well, it's been long enough now that I'm ready to talk about it. A girl on the plane had a stinky pussy and
you could smell it.
You could smell it.
Call him a doctor. Call
I know a
him.
stinky pussy.
Okay. Okay, well, back to Galen. If you were sweating and you smelled like vinegar or it smelled like acidic.
Okay,
then,
pickle.
But this says you probably have a fever, which maybe like after working. Okay, if we really break it down, after working out or
You're
doing something that
sweating.
makes you sweat,
Yeah.
you're something happens. Something, you know what I mean?
Right. Put that in the medical books, honey. We found it.
We'd be in good company. It would be not even be that much different than what they said. Okay, but if you have rotten breath or you smelled like eggs, liver problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then a few centuries later, we have a physician named Avicenna who wrote medical texts. There's one called the Canon of Medicine that he wrote, but he included entire sections on smell as diagnostic tools and literally like they call it a scent atlas. He like cataloged different scents. So he talked about even depression, and we'll get into mental health in a little bit and smells. But he talked about melancholy and how it had a distinct scent of like a musky smell.
Smells like a sad bitch in here.
Yeah, yeah, musky
Oh.
or musty. I don't know.
One of them.
Again, he thought that sweet breath meant that you had diabetes. If you had sour breath, you probably had indigestion. If you had moldy breath, sinus infection, which I feel like that kind of makes sense.
Moldy.
If your breath smelled like rotten meat, then you probably had lung decay. And if your pee smelled sweet, then you were probably dehydrated. If your pee smelled like ammonia, you most likely had bladder and kidney infections. And if your pee smelled like poo, you had an internal infection.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. Which brings me to piss profits.
Don't.
And
see,
I
there
knew
it is.
you'd hate it.
There it is.
Piss
I
profits.
hate that word.
I know.
Which is so funny because pissed off, I don't ever bat an eye at it.
Yeah.
But the word PISS for that, hate it.
Hate it. Well, we're going to talk about piss profits.
Don't say it again.
Well,
okay.
So there were people in medieval Europe who were known as piss prophets. And
Is that literally what they were called?
Yes. We will get to them in a second, but we just need to talk about urine as a whole right now. Doctors at the time.
I'll talk about my urine hole, honey.
Yeah, I want to talk about your urine hole, honey. It stinks.
No, it doesn't.
Smells like a dude wipe.
Probably.
Okay, well, doctors at the time thought that they could diagnose you just by examining your urine.
Uh-huh.
They had a urine wheel, and I'll post a picture of it.
Was it like colored?
Yes, there were 20 different colors of pee, from literally clear to black, and they would not only observe the color of your pee with that wheel, but they would also smell it and they would taste it.
Imagine if someone had asparagus.
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. They would drink your pee out of a little glass flask. These are doctors. Like, yeah, you're dehydrated or whatever. I read from forbiddenhistories.com. It says, quote, the smell and taste of a patient's urine were equally important when determining a course of treatment and often corresponded with specific colors. In 1674, the English physician Thomas Willis described the urine of a diabetic as, quote, wonderfully sweet, as if it were imbued with honey or sugar. I know.
Okay, loved it.
Love that.
Sicko.
It goes on on that website. That brings us to piss profits. So apparently, with like the invention of the printing press, they were able to print all of these urine analysis things, the like urine color wheel or the urine wheel. They could print all these so everybody could have access to it. And so it popularized this whole thing, and a term came out of it because so many people were like, not even doctors, they were diagnosing people because of the urine wheel.
Uh-huh.
And it was called uromancy.
Oh,
yeah. And
a new one.
A new one. And this says, quote, from that website, it says, uromancy is the art of divination using urine. Piss prophets, as they were known, Each had a different method of predicting the future. Some took omens from the urine's color, others from its taste. Most commonly, piss prophets read the bubbles second after it hit the divination bowl.
Oh, so they were up in there.
They were up in there. They were diagnosing you, reading your future. It says the presence of large bubbles spread far apart signified that the urinator was about to come into a lot of money. Conversely, the presence of small bubbles packed tightly together signified illness, loss, or the death of a loved one. Even pregnant women visited piss prophets to the hopes of learning the sex of their babies.
Oh.
I know. Okay, but back to smell. Smell was also used in traditional Chinese medicines. Scent was a pretty huge factor when diagnosing things. And I guess each organ kind of had a smell linked to it. So a fishy smell meant there was something wrong with your lungs. If you just generally...
I don't think that's it, honey.
Go a little lower, honey. A little lower. If you just generally smelled rancid, it had something to do with your liver. This is interesting. If you smelled like you were burning...
You were about to spontaneously combust, honey.
Yeah, something was wrong with your heart. If you smelled like sweet, something was wrong with your spleen. And if you smelled like pee, something was wrong with your kidneys. So I don't know. All of those things maybe can make sense, but I don't know. I'd rather just, I'm happy for modern medicine.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's talk about smelling a corpse. We've talked about the plague. Hey. We know it's not great, and we've talked about the plague on here before, but never really talked about plague doctors, and I won't get totally into them. They are pretty fascinating, but quickly we all know about the bird masks that they wear. Those masks weren't just to be creepy. They were more like hazmat suits or like an N95. And they had those long beaks that they would stuff with herbs and flowers and sponges soaked in vinegar and just like anything to mask the smell and to like filter out deadly smells that a corpse would omit because they believed in miasma theory. However, plague doctors still did have to kind of smell a corpse to determine the cause of death. Yeah. So if somebody died and they smelled sweet, it meant they probably died of consumption or tuberculosis. If they smelled sour or like a sharp stench, that was probably from the plague. If they smelled like meaty or like irony, it meant they died from internal bleeding, most likely.
Oh.
But speaking of smell, and I know we haven't talked about any animals and we won't, but before cadaver dogs, during the plague, they had an occupation called searchers for the dead. They were also known as plague searchers. And this was like before coroners or death certificates or anything like that. People were hired to go out and search for the dead during the plague. Plague searchers were usually, I thought this was interesting, usually women, like older women. And they were hired to inspect corpses and then report any cause of death. And they weren't doctors. They had no formal training, but they were essential to public health at the time. So they would go door to door, ask questions, inspect bodies. But the only tools that they really had were their sight and their smell. And they were sniffing out if someone had died of the plague.
We'd be doing that. We'd be like, let me look at it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'd be like, girlie, come look.
Well, I would just love to go look at other people's houses,
okay,
too.
I'm going to look and then you have to smell it.
Okay, but then we'll be like, why would they put that couch there?
Yeah.
Girl, that's crazy. Much of this plague information can be found in plague manuals of the time, which I would love to get my hands on, like a real plague
When
manual.
you were talking about this, even though I was like, we go to so many like flea markets and vintage stores and stuff, I'm like, I want to start looking for more anatomy books to see if this kind of stuff is in there.
Oh, totally. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the doctors had to put out manuals for everybody, for the public to know what to look for. And much of it had to do with what to smell for. Okay, so lastly, though, mental illness, like even up into the 1800s, doctors were saying that they could sniff out someone's sanity, basically.
Shit.
At asylums, some physicians believed
You
that...
smell insane!
Yeah.
You smell insane!
God damn, girl. They did. They believed that insanity had a smell. There was a pretty unhinged belief that hysteria produced a faint.
Which is all rooted in hating women.
Yes.
Thinking they're insane.
Yeah. They said oh, if they smell damp or earthy, then they probably are suffering from hysteria. But this is something, and I've heard this or I've seen this on TikTok before, and I don't want to offend anybody who suffers from schizophrenia, but I have seen, and this is medically backed from Gizmodo, but I have seen people talk about the smell of schizophrenia.
I've heard this too.
Okay.
Yes. I've seen videos on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, from 2012, so this is not back in the 1800s, from gizmodo.com, it says, quote, schizophrenia doesn't immediately come to mind as a condition associated with a scent because it is considered a mental disorder, albeit one rooted in the physiology and chemistry of the brain. However, schizophrenia is also associated with a different metabolism that causes people with it to have a slightly different scent. Rats trained with a reward system were able to single out sweat from schizophrenia patients from non-schizophrenic people. Those with schizophrenia had a component called trans-3-methyl-2-hexanoic acid. This scent has been described as very sweet, like fruit that is over-ripened.
Okay, I used to watch videos on or I'd get stuck watching those videos sometimes on YouTube of this is what it would look like if you were walking and you had ADHD, or this is how with mania or certain types of manias.
POV.
It's all POV things, and I used to watch those all the time because I thought they were so interesting. Whether or not those are real, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw, because I was watching all of those, is when I was there's a video about this on YouTube somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very
So I don't know if it's true. But
I don't want to put out false information, but I have seen people on TikTok who do suffer from schizophrenia talk about it, so I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt, but yeah, get a whiff of that. That's all I have. Your sense of smell has and still is truly a really great tool when it comes to your health and your safety and diagnosing sometimes. So remember, when something stinks, it just might be trying to tell you something. A little warning.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I loved that.
How did that smell?
Smelly little coffin spinner.
Smelly.
Smelly spinner. Well, we're going to take one more quick break, and when we come back, I'll tell you what had me spinning in my coffin this
Smelly
week.
spinner. All righty.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
All right, girly Geoffs. We've got another scandal on our hands.
You are the king of this.
It's a fucking doozy. For this week's coffin spinner, I did a deep dive into a story mainly that takes place in Kentucky, and what I discovered is shocking.
Okay.
I mean, recently we talked about the whole ambulance scandal in Poland where they were the skin hunters.
Yeah.
Yes. Which actually I started watching the documentary the other night, but then it was too late, so I fell asleep, turned it off to go to sleep. I had to turn on Reba instead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what a nice thing to fall asleep to.
No. But I want to finish it. But we've talked about organ donation several times on this show, from incredible stories of people doing one final good deed by donating their organs to save other people's lives. We've talked about what happens during the actual procedures themselves. And we even learned that it's very unlikely you'll even be an organ donor.
Oh, yeah.
It's, because a lot of people are not viable donors.
Yeah.
So knowing all of the above, it makes this story just even more horrific because there is a group known as the Kentucky Donor Affiliate. And girl, they are up to no good.
Oh, God.
I guess people started to get suspicious due to the group's pushiness, and it launched an investigation that led to some very unsettling revelations.
Okay. Anytime I hear a group, I don't know, it's just freaking me out.
Okay. So I was reading an article about this in the New York Times, and it says, quote, the investigation into this Kentucky group found that the organization's employees repeatedly pressured families to authorize donation. They improperly took over cases from doctors and tried to push hospital staff to remove life support and allow for surgery, even if there were indications of growing awareness in patients.
What?
Some employees failed to recognize that hospital sedatives or illegal drugs could mask patients' neurological conditions, meaning that they might be in better shape than they actually seem to be.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
And I know we've talked about it before. There has always been that rumor of like, don't be a donor because, you
might not want to be after this.
Fuck. But like, there is such beautiful stories.
There is. And I don't want to, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you have to be weary because the group is now operating under a new name. I guess they went under some sort of merger.
Oh.
They're called Network for Hope. And on their website, they claim their goal is reshaping the future of organ, tissue, and eye donation. We're a collaborative, innovative, and authentic team dedicated to creating a brighter future through the gift of life. But the question is, and the question remains, is that the case even if they're neglecting the lives of the organ donors themselves? They claim to never remove organs until a hospital has already declared a patient dead. But after this investigation, I'm not so sure.
Okay.
It turns out that employees of the organization, as mentioned, were found to have repeatedly pressured families into authorizing donations, literally taking over cases from doctors. Like, they would be in there because, like, they have to have a team of professionals in there when it comes to organ donation who are literally there when the surgery is being performed because you've got to get those organs right away.
Yeah, but you should be doing everything you can to save the person before that.
Right, and that's exactly what was not happening because they were pushing hospital employees to remove patients from life support even if the person was showing signs that they were still alive or that there was hope for them to make a recovery. And that's where it gets sick and twisted, and we're just touching the surface here. So throughout the investigation that was made against this company, over 350 of the company's cases were examined. And in a startling discovery, 70 out of those 350 patients were experiencing or had experienced neurological conditions that made them non-viable candidates for organ donations, but they harvested their organs anyway. And it makes me wonder, I'm like, what were they doing? Because even if they didn't give those organs to other people, were they selling it on the black market? Because we've heard about people selling skin before or bones, all kinds of things. But even worse, according to an article from Fox 65, officials said 28 cases involved patients who may not have been dead at the time the organ donation process began.
Fucked up.
It's fucking wild. And this is why people are apprehensive, because there's companies like this that exploit the system and they just try and do these sneaky little things behind the scenes.
It's all money.
It's all money. Money's at the root of everything. One of the cases that I learned about, the first case that I want to talk about pertaining to that specific investigation is a story of TJ Hoover. And so 36-year-old TJ had been rushed to Baptist Health Richmond's emergency room in Richmond, Kentucky after an overdose led to cardiac arrest. It's a full code blue situation. After he arrives, he's in critical condition and needed immediate medical attention. Unfortunately, it looked like this was the end for TJ. According to his sister, quote, "We were told TJ had no reflexes, no responses, no brain waves, no brain activity, and we were told that on the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, and then we made the decision as a family to remove him from life support because he was brain dead." TJ had selflessly wished to be an organ donor, so his family wanted to honor his wishes. And they did like the whole honor walk where they're wheeling him down the hospital corridors. It's emotional, it's overwhelming. But then what happened next was shocking. It was a miracle. TJ opened his eyes and starts looking around.
Could you imagine?
It gives me chills.
If someone was doing my honor walk and I open up, like, girl, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Well, just wait. So TJ's family was told, like, oh, it's just reflexes. He's gone. Like, you need to just let him go. TJ was not gone, girl. He was in there. They sedated him. They started prepping him for surgery and, like, draping him for surgery.
What?
And then they wheel him into the operating room. One of the employees of that Kentucky group is there. Her name's Natasha Miller, and her job was to preserve the organs after their removal. And she's like, something is not right here. He's like moving, he's like thrashing around the table. And then she went over to him and she could see that there were tears visibly coming down his face. And everyone in the operating room sees this, and then they kind of freak out. And the surgeon's like, oh, I'm not doing this. Like, we're calling this off. So they're like, well, what do we do now? Well, Natasha, here's her coworker who also worked for the Kentucky donor affiliates, call their supervisor. And bitch, the supervisor is like, well, you need to find another doctor at the hospital that's willing to do the operation. They ended up obviously not doing that. They called it off. And after news spread about this back to the Kentucky group, several of the employees quit. They were like, I'm not fucking working here. I can't believe you would even suggest that we find someone else to do this.
Right.
But that's not even the worst of it. I guess Natasha wasn't technically assigned to the case, but she was there at the hospital as like standby to her colleague. And after the incident, she was reviewing the patient notes on TJ. And tell me why, he had actually woken up that morning during a cardiac catheterization and was like rolling around the table. He had pulled his knees up, and instead of putting everything on pause, they proceeded to sedate him and move on with the original plan.
So they're murderers.
Yeah, literally. Well, attempted. TJ eventually woke up and recovered, not fully. He has an onslaught of issues due to the overdose and inactivity. And he now lives with his sister who cares for him, but he still has problems with his speech, walking, memory, and movement, but he's alive.
And his organs are his to keep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baptist Health, the hospital, made a statement to NPR, and they said in a statement that patient safety was its highest priority. We work closely with our patients and their families to ensure our patients' wishes for organ donation are followed, the hospital statement said. And then the Kentucky group issued its own statement to NPR, maintaining that his case has not been accurately represented. The organization has never collected organs from live patients, and no one there has ever been pressured to do so. A statement to WKYT from the Network for Hope organization, which was their new name, said groups like theirs are not involved in patient care. They don't declare death. They only have the authority to proceed with organ donation recovery after a patient's independent healthcare provider has declared death. But
so something fishy's going on, because I don't think this organization is, I think that they are scandalous and awful.
Yeah.
But then what about the patient notes about him rolling around in the morning and they're still sedating him and being okay with wheeling him in? Thank God he opened his eyes. Like, that was some...
Oh, it's not a one-off either. It's happened many times. In another case, I read about a guy who had a very similar situation to TJ's, and he actually ended up waking up as well, and they let him go home, and then he died 3 days later.
But still.
Yeah.
That was his choice.
Yes. I mean, I think you should have to be like dead. Like, they have to collect your organs within 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, they have to make sure you're fucking fully not there.
Yeah. And there's situations, right, where like you can't hold on any longer.
Yeah.
Like, let him go.
Listen, like, Papa's been plugged in for goddamn 36 months. Let's let him go. Or that
sounds harsh, but it's true.
It's true. This next story, though, sent shivers down my spine. So there's a woman. She wakes up and she sees the light.
Okay.
But it's not the light.
Okay.
It is the unmistakable bright lights of an operating room.
Oh, God.
So she wakes up and she's on the operating room table. Her name was Colleen Burns, and she was 41 years old, and she opened her eyes on the table just as doctors were about to begin harvesting her organs for donation. The operation immediately called off, and I didn't want to start with the reason that she was there, but she had also overdosed. For her, it was intentional. She wanted to end her life. But the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, had other plans for her. But what's wild in this case, too, is that she also showed signs of life. In fact, several nurses had told doctors that day that she was curling her toes, flaring her nostrils, but they still proceeded to take her into surgery anyway. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's just gross.
It freaks me out because the more we talk about the scandalous side of the medical industry on this show, the more you realize, like, fuck, there's a lot of shit that goes on.
You can't trust anybody.
You can't.
And I hate to be that pessimistic.
No, I've had great experiences. Like when I was in the ICU for a week 2 years ago, like great experience. The nurses, everyone was wonderful, but it's scary to think, like, what if that hadn't been the case?
Right.
So I guess
they were wheeling you in somewhere.
Literally almost, harvesting your organs. It's fucking crazy. So the family, I guess, of Colleen did not sue the hospital, and the hospital was charged just $6,000 by the State Department in September of 2012. And they were also ordered to hire a consulting neurologist to teach staff how to accurately diagnose brain death. But I'm like, that family could have sued for millions.
Yeah.
From an article on The Independent, quote, according to the paper, Dr. Charles Wetley, a New Jersey-based forensic pathologist, said that Miss Burns' reactions should have immediately suggested that she was alive and responsive. Dead people don't curl their toes, he said, and they don't fight against the respirator and want to breathe on their own. The case was only investigated by the state in March of 2010 when the newspaper requested information under the Freedom of Information Act. A review by the health department found that key tests had not been performed to scan for brain activity or assess if her condition was improving. Okay. And that's the fucked up part about a lot of these stories that I learned about, is that they really didn't do these follow-through tests. Like,
just kind of wrote them off.
Yeah, like I'm not going to check if there's brain activity. And I think the thing that pisses me off is I'm like, especially when it comes to patients that were there because of an overdose, whether it was self-induced or, well, I guess it's always self-induced, but whether it was like intentional or not, it's like, do they just think,
Yeah, it sounds like it.
That's what it feels like. Sadly, just 16 months after this event, Colleen once again attempted to end her life, but this time was successful in it.
But that doesn't, like, the job of a doctor or anybody in the hospital, like,
keep them alive.
Their job isn't to determine whether or not they should live or not. Like,
no, for sure. But at the end of the day, we're all human, and they're all humans too. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like we all have our own biases. We're flawed. Yeah, we're all flawed.
Not me, but not us.
I can't relate to this. And it is sad. And like I mentioned, her family had never pressed charges against the hospital. And her mom released a quote that said she was so depressed it didn't really make any difference to her about that interaction with the hospital. All right, moving on. I have a few more shorter stories for us. The story of Zach Dunlap. This takes place in 2007 in Oklahoma. Zach was 21 years old when he was in this terrible ATV accident and he was declared brain dead. His family signed the paperwork to donate his organs, but just moments before he was set to be wheeled away, a relative who was a nurse was like, I'm going to do a quick check. And Zach responded. She had done a toe pinch and a nail bed scrape to get a reaction, and it turns out that his brain was not dead, and he later said he could even hear the doctors saying that he was dead. He made a remarkable recovery, even went on to the Today Show to talk about his experience, but he survived. There's a case from the UK about a kid named Stephen Thorpes, and it's fucking heartbreaking. So he was just 17 years old when he was pronounced brain dead after a car crash, and his parents were urged to consider organ donation, but the family brought in a private neurologist who contradicted the hospital's findings. Stephen had brain injuries, but he was not brain dead. He later woke up fully recovered and said afterwards, the doctors were ready to let me die.
Wow.
And then this next one from 2007 also is graphic. So we have Carlos Camajawas. He was 33 years old when he was declared dead after a car crash. He was taken to the morgue and began to bleed during the autopsy. As in, when the medical examiner was making the first incision to harvest his organs. Turns out, still fully alive, woke up screaming on the slab, and they had to stitch him back up and hand him over to his wife.
Holy shit, that feels
Imagine
like a
surviving
nightmare.
that.
In the morgue of all things.
Like,
yeah. Imagine being the doctor.
Girl, everyone got the fright of their lives that night.
Yeah.
And then there's the story of Velma Thomas. This took place in 2008 in West Virginia. She was declared clinically dead, no pulse for 17 hours, and her family began planning to donate her organs. But after being taken off life support and left in the hospital room alone, she woke up. She had suffered cardiac arrest and was being kept alive artificially. Doctors had no hope. But I guess her son refused to give up, and then that's when the miracle happened, and she survived. And then lastly, we have Jahi McMath. This took place in 2013 in California. She was a 13-year-old girl that was declared brain dead after complications from tonsil surgery. And her family refused to accept the diagnosis. They were like, no, she's absolutely still alive. The hospital began preparing for organ donation, but the family fought a public battle to keep her on life support. She was eventually moved to a private facility and her body remained functioning for years. I think I actually referenced that story in the brain death episode that I did, but it caused a lot of controversy because it was like, this huge moral debate of like, should we keep someone alive if we could use their organs to like help other people? And it created a lot of conversation around that. And like, while I'm obviously always going to be pro donating your organs, it still is scary because you do feel like there's a chance they would be willing to let you die.
Right.
So that they could, quote unquote, save other lives.
Maybe one less chest compression or one less, like, you don't fucking know. I know.
That's the scary thing. It scares me.
Yeah.
So luckily, those people survived.
And luckily, we're starting to call out nasty groups.
Us. On obituary, count on us to call them out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Truly.
Well, these people did not survive, and so we've got some final last words for them. It's time for some obituaries.
Oh my gosh, yes. So we have an obituary from the Hickory Daily Record from 1955. South Miami, Florida. There was a funeral procession, flowers, tears, and silent prayers yesterday for Stinky.
Not Stinky.
Some people might think it's silly that we could love a dog so much, but he brought us so much happiness and enjoyment, said Mrs. S. Willem. She and her husband, who own a funeral home, made burial arrangements. There was a custom-made casket. Stinky, a 7-year-old brown and white mongrel, had been unofficial canine mayor of South Miami for 6 years.
Good for him.
I know. Since the day a group of University of Miami students left him there. He was killed by an automobile.
Oh.
Burial was in the backyard of Mrs. Sylvia Martin, the town clerk. He was a real gentleman dog, Mrs. Martin said. He was a real politician, or rather a diplomat. He made friends with everyone. A lot of people could have learned a lot from Stinky.
Oh, rest in peace, Stinky.
I know, Stinky boy.
Well, I have Mary Stevenson.
Stinky? No?
It's her.
Oh, sorry, girl.
Yeah, check yourself. Short and sweet. This was published on May 14th of 2025. Mary Stevenson, 82, passed away Sunday. Her family asked that anyone interested in joining her in the coffin, please reach out ASAP. It was also from The Onion.
Oh, I don't care. Stinky Onion girl. Oh, I love that.
We won't go back to The Onion. I just found it, and I was like, I didn't know The Onion had obituaries. Come on.
It's fun to switch it up. I love an onion.
Okay. Oh, me too. A bloomin' onion. Give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've spun in our coffins.
We've stunk our obituaries.
It's time for some dumb
ass
criminals. Who you got?
Okay, I have an article from Fox 2 Detroit, but the reason I found out about this dumb criminal was because Cisco and I were watching the other night like a compilation of news.
You're like, we were watching The Studio, and
and it's so great. You should watch it. No, we were watching
news bloopers.
News bloopers.
Yes.
Yeah. And just like newscasters losing it.
My favorite thing.
Dude, this had us cracking up.
Now a suspected vandal facing charges after allegedly leaving Beavis and Butthead graffiti all over Detroit. My goodness.
That's us.
I was not. Brian Heron calls himself Beavis. Spelled B-V-I-S. I'm so sorry. Police say he left his mark on buildings and fences, even inside a supermarket. Heron actually, this is...
The city has dedicated areas where they have murals. Maybe you can participate in one of those. Although most of us love cartoons as kids, we can't go around painting our favorite cartoon characters in multiple locations all over.
Oh, yes, you can.
In all, Heron faces 6 counts of malicious destruction of property, punishable by up to 4 years in prison.
I love it.
Could not keep it together.
One of the best SNL skits in recent years is the Beavis and Butthead one.
Ryan
Gosling.
Yes.
So fucking funny.
And they're fucking laughing.
They can't keep it together. I love when people break.
But wait, that guy's name was the Beavis and Butthead dumbass criminal was Brian Heron.
Yes.
And he put Beavis.
I don't love street art, but we'll take it.
Look at that's your.
Oh, that's a picture. That's when we found that weird at the Goodwill.
At the Goodwill.
It was like her testing out all her lipstick colors. I should have kept that. Can you find that? Okay, I have kind of an iconic dumb criminal this week.
Okay.
And, well, this is from kfox14.com, Miami. A Florida woman has been sentenced to 5 years probation after pleading guilty to charges related to luring men into hotel rooms, pepper spraying them, and then stealing their luxury watches. 20-year-old Esther Torres was initially arrested on 2 counts of first-degree robbery. Her case finished with a plea agreement on charges of armed robbery, burglary, and grand theft. The first incident occurred at the Breakwater Hotel where a victim was pepper sprayed and had his Hugo Boss watch, over $200 in cash, euros, and multiple credit cards stolen. The second incident took place at the Fontainebleau Hotel where a man was pepper sprayed and robbed of a $22,000 Rolex Submariner. The second victim claimed to have been temporarily blinded by the attack. In both cases, police said Torres was captured on surveillance footage leaving the hotels after the robberies. I've stayed at that hotel, actually, in Miami.
Really?
Yeah. We have a predator, and she's preying on male victims, said Mitch Novick, owner of the Sherbrooke Hotel. Torres was identified during a traffic stop in April when she arrived on the scene after the driver was arrested.
Wearing 3 watches.
Yeah, so many watches. No, she has one of those jackets, and she opens it up, and there's, like, watches for sale. Police confirmed her identity using a need-to-identify flyer and arrested her in May. Initially detained without bond, she was later granted a recognizance bond in late June. Police released body-worn camera footage of the arrest in which a child is heard off-screen. Police said that Torres had a child in the car at the time, and an officer is heard asking, "You have no weapons on you? None of that stuff, right?" To which Torres replied, No. She went to jail, and then now she's on probation. That's her.
Oh, she's pretty.
She is a little scandalous girl.
I picture her like, ooh, baby, va voom, come in.
Yeah. Oh, you want to come in my room?
Yeah.
Give me that watch.
Yeah.
Oh, a dumbass nonetheless. You can't do it. You can't do that.
You can't do it, but keep doing it because we want to hear about it.
And keep being smelly out there, Geoffs. That's it for the week. We'll see you next week with some more coffin spinners.
Oh, and obituaries.
And dumb
ass
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.